We talk about solving multi-step equations involving fractions. We talk about proportions, and we talk about fractional coefficients and fractions. They're somewhere involved, somewhere as a constant. In this situation, a couple of the first examples, we'll be dealing with fractional coefficients. In other words, we're going to distribute the number out front. And I'll show you two different ways to do this. Obviously, the 3 halves get distributed to both the 3x and the 5. Doing it this way is a bit more conservative, but you have to deal with fractions. Look at 3 over 2 times 3, which is 3 over 2 times 3, which is, of course, 3 over 1, 9 over 2. So doing my work on the side, this is 9 over 2x. And once again, as a reminder, the x, because 3 over 2 times 3 is 9 over 2, the x can move to the side. Plus side, 3 over 2 now times this 5, which would be 15 over 2. Equals negative 24. Now, it's fine. We could turn this into a decimal because it is divided by 2, so it'll end in it'll either be a nice number or it'll be 0.5, 5/10. But let's just deal with it for now. Minus 15 over 2, minus 15 over 2, 9 over 2x equals negative 24 over 1, minus 15 over 2. Get the same denominator, which is 2. 2, negative 48 over 2, minus 15 over 2. Denominator stays the same. Keep change. It's negative 63 over 2. So it's negative 63 over 2. To solve this, we now multiply by the reciprocal, times 2 over 9, times 2 over 9. It'll all work out nicely in the end, as you can see, because the 2 on the bottom and the 2 on the top end up canceling. And we have negative 63 over 9, which of course is 7. So I'm getting a nice answer of negative 7. That wasn't the best way to do a problem like this, so I'll show you a much more efficient way to do that doesn't involve working with fractions at all. I know that you guys are not huge fans of fractions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of my fraction right away. In rare circumstances, when this is all kind of held together, because 3 over 2 times this entire quantity, what you can do is either multiply by the reciprocal right away, or a more conservative approach than that is to just multiply by the denominator. That cancels out just the denominator on that side, and now I only have, and it's only because if there were extra stuff, I'd have to multiply that by 2 also on that side. But this is all kind of grouped together already. We know parentheses. So we cancel that out. The 3 comes down. This quantity comes down. Of course, because of the multiplication property of equality, if I multiply that side by 2 and multiply that side by 2, I get negative 48. Now it's a multi-step equation where we have to distribute still. Whoosh, whoosh. 9x plus 15 equals negative 48. Minus 15, minus 15. 9x equals negative 63 again, where you can see we kind of got to that sort of setup over here. Divide by 9, divide by 9, x equals negative 7. So it's a much easier way to do it where you don't have to deal with fractions. Of course, if you were to have solved this, it would be foolish if you didn't take a moment to check your answer in Desmos as a reminder. So let's quickly check our answer in Desmos. So we have 3 halves times the quantity, 3x plus 5, is equal to negative 24. And as you can see, it crossed at negative 7. So taking a moment just to check to ensure that we did get, in fact, the right answer is a wise choice. Distributing a fraction. 3/4 times the quantity x plus 3 is equal to 9. 2 ways you could handle this. Again, you can either distribute the fraction. You'll end up working with fractions. 3/4 x plus 9/4 equals 9. And you could certainly solve this from here. My suggestion, though, would be to take this same equation, copy, paste, take the exact same equation, and then you can either multiply by this full reciprocal times 2 over 3 on both sides. If that doesn't jive with what you're trying to do, you can at least get rid of the denominator and prevent it from being a fraction. Multiply that side by 12, so we get 36. Distribute 3x plus 9 equals 36. And now it's a simple two-step, minus 9 minus 9. 3x equals 27. Divide by 3, divide by 3, x equals 9. Once again, you should check by plugging into decimals. Here's another example. We could either distribute the negative 5 over 2, but since this is all held together by parentheses, it's negative 5 over 2 times the entire grouping, it's not like there's extra stuff. We can multiply by just the denominator, and that cancels that out. Multiply by just the denominator, and the negative 5 comes down, w minus 1, and this equals just 30. I think this is just a cleaner way to do this. Now we don't have to distribute a fraction. We just have negative 5w plus 5 equals 30. Minus 5, minus 5. I'm going to move over here. Negative 5w equals 25. Quality. Divide by negative 5, divide by negative 5, w equals negative 5. Circle your answer. To elaborate further on these, if we happen to see one, oh, not yet. If we happen to see one where it looks something like this, let's say 2/3 x minus 5 plus 3 equals 8. You still can do this trick, and you can multiply by 3, and that would get rid of that. And you multiply this side by 3. But note that while this is a term, and I help out that term by doing this, and I take care of this side, this is its own term, and as you can see, there are 3 terms here. Every term has to get multiplied by 3. So this term got multiplied by 3, and this term got multiplied, but this guy hasn't. So I have to multiply this guy by 3 also, if they're separated by plus sign, minus sign, or an equal sign. You might say, well, this is subtracted. That's a minus sign. Yeah, but it's grouped together. We've talked about that. So this is plus 9. And then we would solve 2x minus 10 plus 9 equals 24. 2x minus 1 equals 24. Plus 1 plus 1. 2x equals 25. Divide by 2, divide by 2. X equals 12 and a half, or 12.5, or 25 over 2. Let's back up to ones where we are distributing to a fraction. Same idea, but this one we don't have the trick. We can't do that fun trick. You have to just deal with it. 12g equals 12 times 2/3. You can do this in decimals, of course. Hopefully you get a nice answer. In this case, you do. It's 8g minus 1 plus 11. Let me quickly do the rest. 12g equals 8g plus 10 minus 8g minus 8g. 4g equals 10. 4g equals 10. Divide by 4, divide by 4. G equals 5 over 2, or 2.5. Again, those are both nice answers. So I'd accept either one of those. A little bit different. This one, I was distributing the 12 to the fractional coefficient. This time I distribute 12 to the fractional constant. It really is the same thing. So I'll do it quickly. Whoosh, whoosh. 12g equals 12g minus 8 plus 11. 12g equals 12g plus 3. Subtract 12g. This is a good time to review. Those cancel. We get 0 equals 3. Since they're not the same, it's not the reflexive property, it is no solution. If you write on the answer spot 0 equals 3, that would be marked as incorrect. The answer you need to write is no solution. Now, if I asked you to solve this equation, you're going to ask yourself, would you be able to? I hope so. It was a very simple distributive property question. Whoosh, whoosh. 4g plus 12 equals 35. Minus 12 minus 12. 4g equals 23. 4g equals 23. So divide by 4, divide by 4. G equals 5 3/4, or 5.75. Either one of these would actually be an acceptable answer. Decimal is fine for this one. So since this is okay, a question like this also should be okay. Believe it or not, these are the same things. Even though they don't look like the same setup, this one and this one, they are the same equation because we know with proportions, cross products are equal. Therefore, if we cross multiply, 7 times 5 is 35. That's equivalent to 4 times the entire quantity g plus 3. If you don't put parentheses around the g plus 3, you'll end up with 4g plus 3 instead of the correct answer, because you forgot to put 4 times the 3, which is 4 times 12. So it's important for you to put parentheses when you distribute, when you cross multiply, because you need to distribute. As you can see, this is the same equation as that guy, so I'm not actually going to solve it, but that's how you would solve multi-step equations featuring proportions, such as this one. Even if they have variables, in this case, the letter b on both sides, we cross multiply. 5 times the quantity b plus 3 is equal to 4 times the quantity b minus 8. We solve by distributing, whoosh, whoosh. 5b plus 15 equals whoosh, whoosh, 4b minus 32. Variables on both sides, minus 4b, minus 4b. 15 equals, 1b, 5b minus 4b is b plus 15 equals negative 32. Get ahead of myself. Minus 15, minus 15. B equals negative 47. You can still check this in Desmos. You would just, instead of using the letter B, you would use the letter X. We would type this in. We have to divide, right? So it would be, here's the trick to it. Do X divided by 5, and then go back into the numerator and write minus 8. Then I put equals, and again, I'll do X divided by 4, go back into the numerator, put plus 3. Let's see if we got, well, we thought the answer was negative 47, which is nowhere near here. So we're going to have to scroll over until we get to negative 47, which is in fact the correct answer. We'll do just a couple of word problems, some practice writing word problems. Mike and Angela were having a competition to see who could bring the most cans of soup. Mike brought in 10 less than 3 times as much as Angela. Together they brought in a total of 80. How many cans did they bring in and who won the competition? So, key sentences right here. So Mike brought in, so Mike is equal to, Mike brought in 10 less than 3 times whatever Angela is. So Mike brought in, Mike is 10 less than 3 times Angela. 10 less than, that flips it, 3 times Angela. Now together they brought in 80, and here's where it gets tricky. You might have understood that. That was a tough sentence to understand, but here's where it gets tricky. Angela plus Mike together brought in 80. Angela, we know, is just the letter A. Mike is just the letter N. However, 2 different variables that makes it tricky. We know what Mike really is. Mike is really that. So we put, instead of M, Mike is really 3A minus 10. Again, recapping. Mike is 10 less than 3 times Angela. Mike is 10 less than 3 times Angela. So this is Mike is equal to that. Angela is A, Mike is M, but M is really that. So instead of M, we put that. So now I only have A's. A plus 3A is 4A minus 10 equals 80. Plus 10 plus 10. 4A equals 90. Divide by 4, divide by 4. A is equal to, not a nice answer, 22.5. That doesn't really make sense in terms of the context of the question. So perhaps we need more information. times 22.5 minus 10, 67.5 minus 10, 57.5. So Mike brought in 57.5 apparently. He brought in half a can, Angela brought in half a can. Together, add those up, that equals 80 cans, sure. So I guess Mike won. They both brought in half a can, that's kind of weird. But Mike brought in 57.5. And Angela only brought in 22.5. Hopefully it was the same half so they can put it together. Otherwise, if you make this like corn and beans, soup, tomato soup and chicken noodle soup might mix together, might not taste so good. Let's do another example. Andre is learning some new vocabulary. His teacher told him to divide his paper into 3 sections. The first section is 4 inches shorter than the other 2 sections. Here's a piece of paper, which are equal width. Paper is 11 inches long. How long should Andre make each section? All right, let's read it again. Andre is learning some new vocabulary. His teacher told him to divide his paper into 3 sections. The first section is 4 shorter than the other 2 sections. So this section and this section, the same width. This one is 4 shorter than that. So I didn't draw it to scale, but that one and that one are the same width, and that one is 4 shorter than those, 4 inches shorter than those 2. Together, its whole length is equal to 11. That's my picture. 3 sections. This is 4 shorter than that and 4 shorter than that. Those 2 are the same. So since I know the whole thing's 11, it is W minus 4 plus W plus another W equals 11. W, 3W minus 4 equals 11. Plus 4 to solve. 3W equals 15. Divided by 3, divided by 3, W equals 5 inches. Make sure you label. Some more word problems, get some more practice. The perimeter of a typical classroom. So perimeter at a local middle school is 96 feet. The length, let's call this the length, we'll call this the width. The length is 2 feet shorter than the width. So the length is 2 shorter than the width. Instead of length, I can just say width minus 2. So that's the width, that's width minus 2. How long is a typical classroom? We know that the perimeter is you add up this side plus this side plus this side plus this side. In other words, W plus W minus 2 in this case plus another W plus another W minus 2 is the perimeter. They also told us that the perimeter is 6. 2, 3, 4 W's. And a negative 2 and a negative 2 is minus 4 equals 96. Let's solve. Add 4. Add 4. 4W equals 100. Divide by 4, divide by 4, W equals 25 feet. So this is 25 feet. But they didn't ask for the width, they asked for the length, which is 25 minus 2, 23 feet. It's the length of the typical classroom. Here's a good question for practice. Derek and Sean are participating in a charity run. Derek is a sponsor. Derek. 45 cents for every mile plus $15 donation. So 0.45 for every mile plus a straight up $15 donation. Sean's sponsor offered 50 cents per mile. That's nice. But only a $10 donation. How many miles would they have to run if they were in the same amount for them to give an equal donation? Let's solve this. Well, I have variables on both sides. I should take care of that first. Minus 0.45 m minus 0.45 m. That cancels. 15 is equal to, we get 0.05 or a nickel per mile right now. Minus 10, minus 10. 5 is equal to 0.05 m divided by 0.05 divided by 0.05. M is equal to 100. So that's a lot of miles. 100 miles. You can always check this, right? By plugging into Desmos or by plugging into M, actually checking your work by doing the actual by hand calculation, right? 0.45 times 100 plus 15 is 100 times 45, move the decimal twice, 45 plus 15 for $60. And then for Sean, 0.50 times 100 plus 10, multiplied by 100, move the decimal twice, which is 50 plus 10, are also $60. So the 100 miles reflexive property, they end up paying the same amount. It's a lot of running. Hopefully they don't do it in one day.